Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit BillHowe.com. And by the Conrad Trebas Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening. It's Monday, December 22nd. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. San Diegans are in for a wet Christmas. KPBS reporter Katie Hyson says a record number of travelers will be facing the rain.
Forecasters expect 4 days of rain beginning Tuesday, with possible flooding and thunderstorms on Wednesday. AAA spokesperson Ann-Jane Venegas says they're expecting a record number of Southern Californians to hit those wet roads for the holidays. Almost 9 million.
To make sure that your tires are in good condition and properly inflated. Also, keep your windshield wiper blades fresh.
More San Diegans will be taking to the cloudy skies, too. San Diego International Airport anticipates about 75,000 travelers each day. Airport spokesperson Nicole Hall says they should plan ahead.
Before you leave your house, check your flight status, and then give yourself enough time to get to the airport.
The rain should stop by Saturday, leaving cooler weather in the 60s. Katie Hyson, KPBS News.
Northern California is already feeling the effects of the latest atmospheric river to hit the West Coast. In Redding, one person died over the weekend while being caught in a flash flood. Ivan Rodriguez has more of our coverage on the storms and what's expected in the days ahead.
A series of atmospheric-fueled storms pumping heavy rain into California this week, already proving deadly.
This is pretty crazy. I've never seen it like this.
Heavy rain flooding roadways, including parts of Interstate 5, according to officials. In Humboldt County, crews performed water rescue Sunday where the floodwater was chest deep in some places, prompting officials to use jet skis and small boats to access certain neighborhoods. Heavy rain and potential flooding is expected to continue in Northern California into Tuesday before a more widespread storm steps up to the plate and slams the entire state. A level 3 of floor flooding threat is in place for more than 17 million people in Southern California on Wednesday, according to the Weather Prediction Center. Then yet another atmospheric river will be on its heels, keeping stormy conditions into Friday. Los Angeles could see anywhere from 2 months' worth of rain to nearly half a year's worth of rain in just 1 week.
We've got a big population density in and around Los Angeles, San Diego, and not to mention the recent burn scars for this area that will lead to the potential of flash flooding, mudslides, landslides, rock slides, with days of rain coming in.
Some relief for this nonstop stormy pattern may finally arrive by the weekend. Ivan Rodriguez, KPBS News.
We are still dry tonight, although clouds are thickening near the coastline. We're going to get down into the 50s. The weather forecast gets a lot more active later this week. So the storm track will begin to shift south through Tuesday. Still to our north for Tuesday. We could see a few brief showers around. Heavy snow up in the Sierra. Flooding risks to our north. But later this week, an increasingly wet pattern Tuesday night through Thursday and Thursday night. So Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. Flood watches are in effect. We'll talk about the details coming up.
South Bay Union School District has selected 2 more schools to permanently close in the coming years. The district had already identified 1 elementary school which will close at the end of the school year. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayers says the school board's recent decision was met with a lot of pushback.
Facing a 40% decline in enrollment over the past 15 years and the loss of state funding that comes with it, South Bay Union School District has listed 3 elementary schools to permanently close in the near future. The district says it will help to deal with ongoing financial pressures. Opponents see it differently.
We believe that every student should have access to a public school in their neighborhood. Closing 2 additional schools is going to have a very negative impact on not just our students, but the community in general.
Vanessa Barrera is president of Southwest Teachers Association. She represents roughly 400 members who educate and support students in the district. She pointed to studies that show that school closures disproportionately affect low-income students and students of color, and that they can negatively impact test scores, attendance, and behavior.
For our students, we know that when schools close, they're now going to be sent to other schools that are not in their neighborhoods. They're going to have to either provide their own transportation, take, public transportation or the transportation that the district provides.
In May, the district's Central Elementary School was identified to close after classes wrap up this academic year. Now, Sunny Slope Elementary School and Berry Elementary School have been added to the list. Sunny Slope is expected to close at the end of the 2028-29 school year, and Berry after the 2031-32 school year. Dozens of community members showed up to the recent district board meeting to voice their opposition to the school closure resolution. While the school closure plan was passed unanimously, it was a spirited affair. Barrera says the district should offer more robust programming to entice students and families to stay in the district.
Decline of enrollment is real, but there are other options that the district hasn't explored. School closures should be the last option. They need to invest in our students.
South Bay Union Superintendent Jose Espinoza said in the meeting that Berry Elementary has seen some of the greatest enrollment declines in the district. He says Sunny Slope Elementary has also seen large declines and has facility issues that need to be addressed. Espinoza declined an interview request. South Bay Union did not immediately answer specific questions about the closure plan. The district sent KPBS a statement saying, since May, the district has completed additional analysis, including updated enrollment data, site capacity information, and public input, among others. As a result, the school consolidation plan was refined to include additional details, clarifying information, and an increase in planning time. Superintendent Espinoza said in his written resolution to the Board of Trustees that the implementation of this plan will ensure that all students will have safe schools and strong instructional and social-emotional support. This, along with adequate staffing, will help to support student achievement. District documents show the closures of Sunny Slope and Berry Elementary are subject to review of enrollment and financial data. Barrera says in addition to opposing school closures, the union may strike in February due to ongoing contract negotiations with the district. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
Union members who work for the California State University system say they have authorized a strike. The Teamsters chapter represents more than 1,000 skilled trade workers. A message from the union says 94% of its members voted to authorize a strike, but no date has been set. There are 2 CSU campuses in San Diego County, SDSU and Cal State San Marcos. The union claims CSU hasn't followed through with raises that were set to take effect back in July. One thing the San Diego Unified School District has a lot of is excess land. For this week's Why It Matters segment, Voice of San Diego Scott Lewis explains why the district's recent proposal to transform those properties is on ice.
District leaders wanted to build hundreds of homes for educators, and they were about to launch the most ambitious housing project on school land in California history this month. But then the district shockingly got cold feet, and it's not clear exactly where they'll go from here. Here's what happened. Like everyone, teachers are dealing with San Diego's housing affordability crisis, and district leaders asked developers to propose projects on school land, including the 14-acre site of its former headquarters in University Heights. Developers would get the land, and the district would get some rent, and employees would get affordable homes. The district considered 15 proposals. A committee reviewed them and recommended projects totaling 1,500 new homes for district employees. But then a dispute arose. The committee had asked developers to maximize affordability. But did that mean giving the cheapest possible units or the greatest number of cheaper units? District Board President Cody Pedersen and others wanted the maximum number of affordable units. But at the board meeting earlier this month, longtime trustee Richard Barrera suggested developers needed to rework their proposals. Barrera had this exchange with Pedersen.
I want proposals that meet our goals, period. So Let's see what you come back with.
Okay, hold on. Now we got to stop here. Is this actually we're going to say that we're now going to completely resubmit new proposals? That this is so wild. I'm completely stunned.
In the end, the board couldn't make a decision. They did not give developers any additional direction, and instead, the board just plans to do a workshop next month. As for San Diego Unified educators, relief from the housing costs is on hold. I'm Scott Lewis for Voice San Diego, and that's why it matters.
Voice of San Diego is one of our partners for the Public Matters Initiative. You can learn more at kpbs.org/Public Matters. The Poway City Council has set a date to fill its vacant seat for District 2. Today, the council voted unanimously to hold a special election on June 2nd. That's the same day as the California primary. Poway City Attorneys says combining the elections will be more cost-effective. Former council member Tony Blaine was recalled by voters in November and later resigned. This week, KPBS is looking back on the top stories of 2025. Much of it was driven by politics and the protests that followed. Well, this Friday, see our KPBS News special airing at 5 p.m. with replays throughout the weekend. Reporters from KPBS News offer their insight and commentary on the biggest stories they covered this year. Here is
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute.
Well, it has been an absolute whirlwind.
First, we have a list of pardons and commutations relating to events that occurred on January 6, 2021.
And I think we knew from the gate, from the first few days of the Trump administration, part two.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
That we were never going to be able to keep up with it. But what we could do is pull at the most important threads. And we did that.
Researchers told KPBS's Amitha Sharma their work is now at risk if it contains language deemed problematic by the White House, including the word women.
If I can't say the word women, I can't tell you that an abortion ban is going to hurt women, or I can't document the way an abortion ban is hurting women. I guess a word that's not on here is men, and I guess a word that I don't see on here is white, so I guess we'll see what's going on with white men and what they need.
Meanwhile, UCSD researchers have already been told to scrub their websites of diversity, equity, and inclusion language, and the blows to federally funded scientific research at the university keep coming. It just lost a $35 million USAID Global Research Grant on reproductive health and nutrition, and other federal grants are in jeopardy.
It really impeded the ability of the scientists in our community to describe what they were researching accurately.
We're so glad to see you here. Noah's here today.
Twice a week, a group of 3 to 6-year-olds and their parents gather in a small classroom in Spring Valley. It's called the Parent Empowerment Program, or PEP. The goal is to give families the tools they need to overcome behaviors like tantrums, aggression, and separation anxiety.
This is a federal grant that came out of a bipartisan effort to fund more mental health support in schools after the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas.
The Department of Education awarded the La Mesa Spring Valley School District more than $12 million over the course of 5 years. In May, the Trump administration told school districts it would stop funding the grant program 2 years early.
And to have nobody come and even look at the work that we were doing, to talk about what we were doing, or to see what we were doing and how it's changing lives, and have that just be stripped from us. It was shocking, it was sad, it made me angry.
I just finished 32 years in federal government, National Weather Service. This is the first time where I was restricted, where I could go, what I could say, who I could meet with.
What kind of explanation were you given for those limitations?
Some of it was where travel was banned, basically, as simple as that, no explanation.
He put a real human face on the loss to the federal government of expertise. While Elon Musk was going in and making cuts under Doge, millions of federal employees have lost their jobs. Alex Tardy didn't lose his job. He decided to quit.
There's an inequity in the system that requires a response, and you're trying to, to take action in some way, shape, or form.
It's a moment where I think people are freaking out, and rightfully so, because in America we've never seen this kind of radical shift.
An estimated 60,000 people of all ages and backgrounds peacefully joined together in downtown San Diego Saturday.
I think that the shift is that people are protesting across the country, not just in San Diego. And the protests across the country are also much larger. And so we feel like we're a part of something bigger. And it's interesting because I did that story about sort of the history of protests in San Diego. And, there is that, that protest corner, that 5th and E in downtown. And that was a major focal point and actually led to a Supreme Court decision because they banned protesting in downtown. So San Diego actually has a long and kind of deep history with protests in particular.
A statewide proposition asks voters one question: should the state temporarily redraw its congressional districts to favor Democrats?
We were hearing about here in San Diego just like lines out the door at polling places for people who wanted to register to vote on the same day so that they can actually vote.
After poking the bear, this bear roared.
They did a really good job of making it clear that, this is about the nationwide redistricting battle. This is about the country. This is about our democracy. This is about the 2026 midterm elections, which are a referendum on President Trump.
Our KPBS News special airs here on KPBS Friday at 5, but you can already find it on our streaming platforms. The special is available on KPBS Plus and the KPBS YouTube page.
Well, we have one of the most active forecasts for San Diego in quite a while here, with heavy rain coming in at a very key critical travel time into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. The calm before a stormy Christmas is underway right now. Flood watches have been issued in advance of the rain. The heaviest rain will roll in Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, and still even into Friday morning. We're going to have some lingering rain. Tonight, clouds increase, 57 for your low. And as we look at the storm track shifting southward, it begins to nudge farther south through Tuesday. Still, we're mainly dry. We may begin to see a few showers out there, but overall, Tuesday is going to be still drier than most days to come. So there will be some showers that sneak in late in the day. Oceanside, San Diego, Escondido, we're going to see some of this. Borrego Springs will stay dry most likely. Mount Laguna, some showers around 49 for your high. So again, late Tuesday, we'll begin to see our first few showers. But the main event is really beginning late Tuesday night through Wednesday, Christmas Eve, and into Christmas Day, Thursday as well, with moisture coming from multiple angles. Pacific moisture coming in from the west, subtropical moisture coming north, and for many reasons, it's going to be a very wet second half of the week right through Christmas itself. Feet of snow in the Sierra, windy, especially to the north. We're going to be breezy locally, but the rain's going to pick up and we'll begin to see more and more of that. Overall, places like Los Angeles will see more rain than we will see, but we're still looking at an inch or two later this week. So the heaviest rain to the north, we'll begin to see some showers on Tuesday into Wednesday. And through Christmas Eve, this is Wednesday, rain increases north to south. We're going to begin to pick up on some relatively heavy rain. Thursday, Christmas Day, rain continuing, heavy snow to the north, but we're into the rain zone here. And this is a key forecast graphic to tell us, to share with you. 1 to 2 inches of rain likely in San Diego between Tuesday night and the day after Christmas and Friday. But you'll notice northern parts of the county, from around Solano Beach up into areas like areas around, say, Orange County, we're looking at 2 to 4 inches near Solano Beach and northward. And up into L.A., up into Los Angeles, 4 to 8 inches. And if you look into the mountains just north of L.A., there are areas up there that are going to see some dangerous flooding up into Ventura County's mountains. 8+ inches of rain likely. To no surprise, flood watches are in effect here in advance of all this. And then the storm will shift inland late Friday through Saturday with that Pacific moisture moving into the Great Basin. Snow levels will begin to drop in more areas to our north. But for the coast, again, this is the wettest forecast I can remember for San Diego for a little bit of time. Temps in the mid to upper 60s. Rain increasing Wednesday and Thursday. A few showers even sneak in on Tuesday into the inland areas. A few showers roll in Tuesday. Rain Wednesday, rain Christmas Day at times. Thursday, still some rain. There will be some risk for flooding. We'll keep an eye out for the rivers and so forth. Mountains temperatures dropping. Mainly rain, though, into the mountains here with snow levels just above most of our higher elevation spots here in San Diego County. Could be a few flakes and some snow at the highest of high elevations. And the deserts will begin to see some showers on Wednesday, Christmas Eve, so a little bit of a delay there before the desert gets into the rain. But it's going to be very wet Wednesday night, Thursday, Christmas Day, and Friday, clouds linger before some drying for the weekend. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jeff Cornish for KPBS News.
I'm William Brangham. Tonight on the NewsHour, the Trump administration takes more steps to stop the construction of offshore wind farms. Coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
15 people were killed and dozens more injured a little more than a week ago at Australia's Bondi Beach. The attack came against Jews who'd gathered to celebrate Hanukkah. KPBS reporter John Carroll says dozens came together in San Diego today to denounce anti-Semitism by lighting a large menorah.
Shalom, shalom, shalom aleichem.
Songs sung by a local rabbi set the stage for today's lighting of a 6-foot menorah at the county administration building. Music and then remarks from San Diegans of diverse community backgrounds.
There's no debate when light meets darkness. It's an automatic thing. The light wins every time.
Supervisor Joel Anderson says the lighting of this menorah is an important symbol that San Diego stands together to bring light in moments of darkness.
In San Diego County, we recognize the light over darkness, the joy and the love. And today is a beacon for everybody that there is no cap on love in San Diego County.
The darkness has hit close to home lately. Both a synagogue in L.A. and a Jewish student center in San Francisco were attacked earlier this month. No serious injuries were reported from either incident. San Diego County Assessor Jordan Marks, who is Jewish, organized today's celebration. He says he's seen the effects on Jews in San Diego County of all those recent attacks.
I felt there were people that weren't coming out. They didn't feel safe. They didn't feel like the light was there for them this year. And this was to rededicate ourselves, to rekindle, not just me, but all the county leadership, that you are safe, that you are home, that San Diego is here and standing in unity with you against hate.
Ben Midler knows about anti-Semitic hate better than most. He's a Holocaust survivor. His message today was simple. When you hear or see anti-Semitism, call it out.
Tell everybody to speak up. Things wouldn't happen again.
All right.
Finally, it was time to light the menorah, one of the oldest symbols of Judaism. Believers say it signifies divine light, wisdom, and God's presence. As important as what was said here today is who came together to say it. People from across the spectrum of San Diego society, some who have disagreed with each other pretty vehemently over the years, all coming together to embrace the light of the menorah, the light of Hanukkah that overcomes the darkness, and the responsibility we all have to spread that light. John Carroll, KPBS News.
San Diego County will be well represented at next week's Tournament of Roses parade. We'll tell you about some of the local participants in a moment, but first, one California city is returning to the parade after a long absence. Tim Johns has more from San Francisco.
3, 2, 1.
With just days to go until the famous Rose Parade, San Francisco is once again making itself part of the tradition. This New Year's Day, for the first time in almost 50 years, the city will have its own float along the parade route.
It's just a gentle reminder to folks who haven't been here for a long time why it's so magical.
City officials tell me they want the float to be a marketing tool. Once completed, it will feature some of San Francisco's most iconic landmarks, encouraging people who don't live here to come back to the city by the bay and continue its post-pandemic recovery.
The momentum is really strong. We're feeling like almost like a faucet was turned on or a light switch went on.
But Friday's event wasn't just for potential visitors. Throughout the day, normal San Franciscans could come and help decorate parts of the float themselves, from an S and an F to even one of the painted ladies.
I let them know it's going to be on TV, and as soon as they found that out, they're like, all right, we gotta get working.
Many people here say they like that the city is making them a special part of the process, and they're excited for their handiwork to be displayed in front of the world.
I've always watched the Rose Bowl Parade growing up on the TV, and so it's crazy to think that I could, help contribute towards a float that I helped make.
City leaders say San Francisco has had a strong holiday season so far, and they're hoping once the parade actually happens, they'll be able to take that positive momentum into 2026.
We're back, and the world knows it, and we'll know it on January 1st.
And that was Tim Johns reporting. Familiar entries from San Diego County will return to the 2026 Rose Parade, and that includes the San Diego Zoo, which will feature its elephants for this year's float. The zoo won the Rose Parade's Sweepstakes Award for Most Beautiful Float for last year's entry. Also, the Marine Corps West Coast Band from Camp Pendleton will march in the parade. And there are 2 equestrian entries, the Scripps Miramar Ranch Steam Fire Pumper Unit and the Victorian Roses Ladies Riding Society from Alpine. Here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. NPR's Morning Edition is covering the storms in Northern California, and we'll have an update on the latest impact. And KPBS Midday Edition will have some of our best interviews with San Diego-based authors from 2025, and that airs at noon on KPBS FM. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Enjoy your evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit BillHowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. By viewers like you. Thank you.